Well, Peter, one thing I've realized listening to your music, and I'm sure our listeners will learn, throughout the course, those who don't already know, Peter Rechter, celebrates the music that's played such an important part of your life. And you are such a musical hero to so many of us. And of course, those in Australia. And you've paid homage to many of your musical heroes throughout the course of your career. Now, one song I'm thinking of, you mentioned, it's an early Tol-Puddle Martyrs song, Nellie Bly. And I just want to read what Mike Stacks of Ugly Things magazine, which is a great magazine, by the way, for you music lovers, what Mike Stacks wrote about the song. Nellie Bly is perhaps the best song Ray Davies never wrote. What can you tell us more about Nellie Bly and your love of the Kinks?
Well, I really do love the Kinks, and I love the way Ray Davies writes a song and the things that he has to say. I love the way he magnifies in his songs everyday events and just ordinary everyday people. Whereas other bands that I really love, they may be writing about love or things like that. So or reminiscing or whatever. But well, I guess Ray Davies does reminisce a lot, but he does write about the ordinary everyday person, and that's what I really loved about him. But when I first heard "You Really Got Me," I thought, oh God, how good is this song? I've never heard anything as good as it before that, and I tell you, Steve, I've never tired of it. I have never tired of "You Really Got Me."
Join the club.
And, yep. Yeah. And whenever it comes on, I can't turn the radio off until it's finished. If I have to go, I just can't do that because it's
one of those that you just sit in the car and wait for it to end before you turn off the car, right?
That's fantastic.
Well, how about if we listen to Nellie Bly? And,
okay.
And
which
really
is nothing like "You Really Got Me," but
however,
more like the later things that he did, I guess.
Yeah, Sunny Afternoon.
Yeah, Sunny Afternoon. I don't know, Waterloo Sunset. That type of feel. I really like that type of feel, and I've got a number of songs with that feel,
which we are going to hear as the show progresses.
Myself, yeah.
So right now, everybody, please enjoy Nellie Bly.
Thank you, Steve.
Certain me that all the boys in town are after, but there's no need for me to worry, for I am Nellie bread and honey. Well, Nellie Bly's my certain little lady. I work all day and night so she'll be happy in her home. Nellie Bly, she needs a certain lover, someone who'll be the hero and after. But there's no need for me to worry, for I am Nellie bread and honey. Well, Nellie Bly's my certain little lady. I work all day and night so she'll be always busy talking when we're all alone. I know that you're gonna throw it all away. Got my motor running, it's pumping night and day. Yo, got me thinking about you. You got me thinking about everything and all the things that you do. You got me thinking about you. Got me thinking about you. I just wanna hold you tight. Love you in the morning and hold you close at night. I know that you're gonna throw it all away. Got my motor running, it's pumping night and day. Yo, you got me thinking about you. You got me thinking about everything and all the things that you do. You got me thinking about you. You got me thinking about you. Yeah! You got me thinking about you. You got me thinking about everything and all the things that you do. You got me thinking about you. Got me thinking about you. Got me thinking about you. You got me thinking about you. You got me thinking about everything and all the things that you do. You got me thinking about you. You got me thinking about you. You got me thinking about you. You got me thinking about you.
Thinking about you. We jumped ahead to 2015 Psych Out USA, but Peter, talk about it's great that you happened to mention You Really Got Me. That your riff in that song, Thinking About You, is wow.
It's very Kinksy.
Very Kinksy.
Yeah, and I have always wanted to write a song like You Really Got Me, and people might think that a song like You Really Got Me is simple, which it is, but it's. I also believe that they're often the most difficult songs to write.
Why is
A
that?
simple song that's really. Why? I don't know. I think maybe when you write music and over a long period of time and you're trying to maybe do something different all the time or go to a different modulation that maybe you haven't done beforehand. And then when you go back to try and do something that's straightforward and simple, sometimes it's not all that easy.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. You know, as contradictory as it might sound, it makes perfect sense.
Well, that's what I want. I really wanted to capture that feel of You Really Got Me. I know it's a completely different song and so forth, but it's got that feel that the Kinks had that I really love. And
the love of the Kinks certainly shines through in that one. So listen, Peter, I do want to try to stay in chronological order, but many times, as your songs have shown us, you have particular themes. So
yes,
why don't we, to put a bow, so to speak, on the Kinks portion, why don't we listen to a song from your 2009 Celebrated Man album? It's called Where Do We Start? And why don't you tell us about that before we listen?
Well, I don't often write songs about other people in music. I have a couple of times. I've written about Paul McCartney and I've written about George Harrison and my love of the Beatles. But I've never really sat down and wrote a story about a person that's had such an effect on me from the very beginning all the way through their career. And I did that with Ray Davies with the song Where Do We Start? So I guess when your listeners, when they hear the lyrics, they'll understand what I'm talking about.
Sizable reputation with critical acclamation. You certainly left a footprint right from the start. A semi-suburban fellow, the seventh of eight, not shallow. A colourful, candid keeper, wounded but sharp. Texan schoolboy stories, harking back to empire glories, magnifying ordinary charms. A hopeless romantic fellow, a voice for the small and narrow. I totally felt your impact right from the start. Choking and we're mad about it. CCBE. What will it take for all the world to know you? Respected in hallowed places, revered by a million faces. A tip of the hat to thank you for playing your part. Where do we start? Where do we start? Where do we start?
Where do we start? About quite a well-respected man, Ray Davies, and by the well-respected Peter Rechter. You kind of would have to read into that a bit to know it's Ray Davies. What do you think?
Oh, for certain, Steve. It is a bit cryptic, which I like to do. And if you really sat down and listened to the lyrics and you were a Ray Davies fan and knew the different events that happened in his life, and well, you would realise it was about him because he was the seventh born in the family. Dave was the youngest, but and he was wounded, and he was wounded in a couple of ways. Like I think he was when his partner was in America and somebody snatched her bag. Did he get stabbed or something?
In New Orleans, he was shot in the leg, I believe.
Oh, yeah, and also, I don't think the Kinks really got a fair go. They weren't pushed up there like the Beatles were or the Rolling Stones, which I love them, but they were always on the cheap labels at the time. And well, the Beatles were with EMI. They might have been with Parlophone, which was the comedy label that the Goons were on. But I feel that even though they were huge and had millions of fans, that they really didn't get the same exposure as they should have, as the Beatles and the Stones, and they should have got that exposure.
Oh, I am so in agreement with you, Peter. That is so true. I mean, rightfully so. They belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame where they are.
Oh, of course they do.
But yeah, they deserve to be mentioned in the same breath as the Stones, the Beatles.
Of course they do.
Yep.
And like,
go ahead.
He's probably the best exponent of English music.
Absolutely.
Because that's what he writes.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, he's
Whereas the Beatles
mhm.
are more American in lots of ways.
Yeah, more of a generic type of view of the world. Yeah, the Beatles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Stones, well, they did cover a lot of songs, and their music is really based in that blues music that came out of the States.
Have you ever thought of sending Where Do We Start to Ray Davis?
Oh, I have, but I don't know how to do it, Steve.
Between us, we're gonna brainstorm when we're finished here, Peter.
Sounds good, Steve. Sounds good.
So listen, I mean, we're talking about the Kinks in the '60s, and why don't we get back to your beginnings in
Okay.
the '60s? So now, soon after Peter and the Silhouette.